Okay guys, how is everyone doing? What a wild night. We've got 80-mile-an-hour winds here near Pendle Hill in Lancashire, UK. You can hear it, you must be able to hear that. The rain is pouring down, no chance of sky watching tonight. The van is shaking all over the place. So if you're out in this sort of weather, there's some towels come off a roof further down. It is dangerous, do take care. Just got a little chat. I'm going to tell you an interesting UFO story from a guy who I actually know, and he got in contact with me a couple of years ago about the story. It's pretty fascinating. There's some fishing lodges near where I live, and this weather is wild, but you can hear me properly. This guy got in touch with me. He was out fishing with a few of his friends one night, overnight fishing, and they'd had a couple of beers, like you do, but he says they all know what they saw and what they heard. Nothing to do with the beers. They were out fishing, they were driving in the morning, so they weren't having too much to drink. It was a lovely clear sky. They were commenting on how bright the stars were, when all of a sudden they heard this whooshing noise, and they looked up, and a huge, whatever it was, object in the sky blocked out most of the stars. They said it was massive. It was either absolutely ginormous or it was very, very low. They think it was low for the following reason. As the thing crossed, they could make it out to be a circular shape as it blocked out the skies, and they said the most weird, odd thing about it all was it was completely silent. The only thing they heard was the air displacement noise, like if you got a big truck passing at speed. The whooshing noise as it passed by. The tree started blowing crazy, which made them think it was quite low down, and it frightened them all. It really did frighten them all. They said they had no idea what it was, but it was massive. There was no lights in it. They could only see it because it was blocking out the stars. It reminds me of when I was younger, when I mentioned that story about the triangular craft, so I understand what they're saying there. And basically, they packed up. I think he said this was around 2 in the morning. They packed up there, then they went home. They've never been back to that spot fishing again. So many strange. This wind is wild. Really is wild. So many strange sightings. People say, they send me in the stories. A guy called Neil who had a sighting when he was a child. I told this on the last video, and so this object, a disc-shaped object going through the crosshairs of this little rifle they were using as children when they were shooting tin cans, and this little object passed over the village. They were high up, and then fighter jets followed on behind. Crazy. Told a story as well of a pilot called Francis who used to fly out of Blackpool over to the Isle of Man and back, and he once got in contact with me and told me what he described as a torpedo, missile torpedo shaped object. Absolutely flew right past his plane, very close, not higher, similar level, and it was followed by 2 black circular objects which followed on about a second behind the first torpedo shaped object, and then the second one followed on. And he reported at the time, but never heard anything from it, and said some of the people on board the plane, some of the passengers also reported seeing this crazy stuff. A guy called Omar over Argentina, I think in the Andes mountains, and says he lives 2,000 meters up in this village with the altitude in the mountainous area, very dark skies. He sees lots moving around, and he got in contact with me, telling there were very bright light moved in. It stopped. I had no idea what it was. First thought it was the ISS, but then it stopped dead, split into 3, and then each one of these 3 smaller lights shot off in opposite directions as quick as could blink. You never saw them again. All sorts of stories. And then the guy called Neil who had this sighting when he was younger also had a sighting when he was older. He was walking, I think he was Belfast, he says, a more rural part, and saw 2, as he says, gigantic triangular objects, quite well lit. And he first thought when he saw these lights reflecting off where he was walking near a river, there were maybe cyclists or walkers with head touching on further down, and these things appeared, lasted seconds, disappeared completely, no idea where they went. And he found when he went on his phone to contact his friend, his battery had died, his phone had died, powered back up, and each time it powered up the percentage dropped by 10 to 20%. completely died. What he did mention with that one, his friend tried to ring him back, because he did get through to his friend, but his phone died. His friend tried to ring him back and said all they could hear was this very old-fashioned piano music playing, like Neil said, like from a time gone by. And he said when he saw these objects, everything went so cold, it went freezing cold. And what he thought was strange about this is there was no one around. It was a summer's evening, it was a warm day, a warm summer's evening, it went freezing cold, but nobody around, nobody at all. It was dead silent, no birds making, singing, and that gets reported a lot with sightings. Another thing what gets reported is like a static feeling in the air. It's like a lady who lives up in Auburn sent a message to the channel, put this on the channel a few days ago, about seeing a very bright light in the sky. She's used to the constellations and the planets, clear skies up. If you get clear skies, very good dark skies up in Auburn. This is in Scotland, and she was walking the dog, and this light stationary in the sky got brighter and brighter. The dog was pulling to go back home, and this thing just shot off, blink of an eye, and it had gone. She felt static in the air. The birds, which were singing at the time, stopped singing, and 3 coys in the row, and there were only 6 coys on this particular street. 3 of the coys, the alarms went off. Later that night, 3 o'clock in the morning, she heard the alarms going off again. She was tired, she was up for work, she didn't get up to look, but wondered whether this object were back. And that was a interesting story, because there was a guy today who I actually worked with, said he saw a very bright red light stationary in the sky only the other night, a couple of miles away from here. He was trying to film on his phone. You know what phones are like, they don't really pick much up. He's short me, you can see this light, it does have a red tinge to it, but phones don't pick up very well at night time. And he said it was there for about a minute, and it shot off, streaked off, and it just disappear. But when he tried to get a screen grab of this thing disappearing, because I just seen the video, it is one straight line right across the screen. It's fascinating. So who knows what that is? People have these sightings. What are these things in the skies, guys? What are these things? It is wild, absolutely wild out here. Tell you what, I've been watching a lot. If anybody be interested in the Bigfoot stories, I've been watching a lot of that on YouTube. I don't think there's any sightings in the UK. There seems to be sightings all over the world of this Bigfoot. They've all got different names. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yowie, the abominable snowman. They've all got different names, different parts of the world. But I do remember seeing a video once saying there had been sightings of something up in the Scottish mountains. But that was one video I've tried. There's not much about that at all, and that is interesting. The reason I brought that up, because a lot of these videos suggest possibly they've got a connection with UFOs. Maybe they're not from this planet, maybe they are actually aliens. And the reason to say that, because there is a lot of sightings of strange lights in the skies when Bigfoot is sighted, and that would explain why no one can really find this animal, creature, whatever it is, because it's coming and going. I'm not quite sure whether I subscribe to that story or not. I'm just thinking it's a rare creature. There's a lot of real estate out there which is really mostly unexplored. Thousands of square miles of forest and mountains. Maybe we just haven't really discovered it properly yet. Although if there's something out there, I'm sure we will one day. But I'm not sure whether I subscribe to this theory of them being from somewhere else apart from this planet. Let me know what you think about that. It is interesting. This is a wild night, guys. I'm hoping we get these clear skies, these dark, clear skies, frosty, calm nights soon. I want to get out sky watching. This wind's getting worse. This wind is getting worse. Crazy. So, yeah, let me know if you had any sightings. Leave your sightings in the comments, or you can email on skywatchuk2017@outlook.com. You can private message me on Facebook and Instagram. It's just great to get people's stories and tell them on the channel. It's a good community of like-minded people, and that's why I set this channel up. The community, that comment section is a community. It's a place where people can share their experiences and their stories. Alright guys, so I'm going to get back in the house. I'm going to chill out a bit. I might put a couple more of these documentaries on about Bigfoot. I do find it fascinating. The size of these things, 8-9 feet tall. It makes you wonder how they can go undiscovered if they are out there, but they're big to us, but they're not big to the environment. They're just a speck, so who knows? Who knows? Alright, you lot take care, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Please do like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment, I'll always reply. Any stories, send them to me. And I'll speak soon guys, take care.